in part one when we talked about the design, part of Eric's design was forward thinking in the logistics of, I just would have thought like, well, it looks pretty. But he was thinking about also how can we efficiently fill this and actually create this. And so one of the reasons for including all of the perimeter beds that we did with the fence is he did envision using the tractor and the loader to lift over and dump into the beds, which we did the perimeter infinitely faster, wouldn't you say, than the interior beds, even though the perimeter beds are bigger and required more soil. We did them so much faster because of the technique that you had foresight for.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been even possible because I made the front gate wide enough to drive the tractor bucket
No, I said no to that.
But she didn't want this big old machine, and
it stressed me out.
It looks like a baby tractor, but it is still a very sizable machine.
No.
And I don't know how much it would have saved us, but we did build a big central area for these logistics too, and I think in time.
Your tractor is never going into my garden.
It's going to have to. Johnny needs to visit the garden.
Can we put this on record
Although
now?
when you put that trellis up,
yes,
the rose arch, I don't think it'll fit anymore.
Perfect. It's like when the big trucks can't go under certain bridges.
Right,
I'm
like
putting up a barrier. No tractor. No tractors allowed. So once we did the perimeter, which felt like it went really fast, and as you'll see in the video, I would direct him over the fence and then he would dump it, but then I had a big piece of cardboard to deflect for a couple reasons. One, I didn't want to get covered in dirt. Also, we really weren't quite sure if our measurements were going to be accurate and we weren't going to need to get more soil, and I didn't want to get stalled waiting because we had to go get more soil. So I didn't want any excess coming out of the beds, and also I wanted to keep our hard work in the gravel nice and clean. So that's why I used that shield, and I think we had very little spillover. And when we did have spillover, it was largely my fault when I was trying to rake it flat, not because of the tractor. So
when exhaustion kicked in, you're like
whatever.
Just got this dirt.
Just level it.
Get it in there.
So once we did the perimeter, I think the much harder work started of the individual loads with the gorilla cart and the wheelbarrow. And the way we did it, both were necessary. So the bucket loader width would have had way too much spillover and would have caused a lot of problems if we were trying to aim it into just one, if we just had one. But when we put them together, similar with the gravel, it wasn't quite as wide. And with the shovel, he was able to put it at an angle, and I was able to direct it with the shovel largely until you really mastered the technique.
This is my first chance ever using a loader, so
start at the challenging level.
Unfortunately, we didn't get any B-roll of me just dumping it on top of my wife. Just get rained in mushroom compost.
Gross. This is definitely intermediate to advanced out of the gate.
I think the very complex.
But we did a good job. You didn't. There's only like one that I can think of where it was like, yep, that didn't start great.
Yes, and a wheelbarrow and the gorilla cart, because the wheelbarrow is far more maneuverable with the one wheel to get up into the back corners.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So the pathways are not uniform across the whole garden, and so the gorilla cart could get all into the interior, but not into the corners. And so we really needed that wheelbarrow maneuverability to get into the back beds, or we wouldn't have been able. I don't want to think about what we would have done. So basically, both were needed, both were essential, or it really would have slowed us down. I mean, technically, we probably could have gotten 2 wheelbarrows, but since we had the gorilla cart, they were a good pair. They were a good team.
Yeah.
They were a good team.
At the end of the, getting the compost pile down to the bottom, since at the end of the compost pile, we were right on top of grass. I had put this like little baby tarp down on the ground, and then the pile was like 7 times larger than it. Do you
have any video of you putting the little weenie blue tarp down? With the dump truck.
It got delivered. It's in one of our videos. It's just like a postage stamp, and then the soil just like.
The dump truck guy was like, "Sure, buddy, I'll aim it there." Don't waste time with the tarp.
I had to use shovel manually at the end, and I still used the tractor loader, because the loader can go all the way to the ground, which even that little amount of like lifting helped.
It saves.
But I would say each bucket was probably like 40 or 50 scoops from a manual shovel. So in one scoop, the thing would bring up
incredible
a wheelbarrow
time saved,
plus a giant gorilla cart, and with more to spare in the bucket. The bucket was bigger than both of those combined.
Yeah.
So the loader saved a lot of manual labor. And if you don't want to buy a tractor, I think it's worth renting for this project.
Yeah.
Or getting a skid steer.
Yeah, like a
a
day rental.
Yeah, I can't even imagine doing
You
this.
would have quit.
Manually.
It would have been a lot of marital strife.
Yeah, we wouldn't have done this project if I wasn't on like full-time leave right now.
Well, yeah, the time, but
so this is a once in a lifetime garden build. And I think you knew up front the scope of this project. You talked about how big a deal it was, and my brain was just like, it's just some lumber,
just some boxes.
Dirt, boxes.
It's gonna put some plants in some boxes. Don't you want to make it bigger?
We did make it bigger. At the last second, we bumped it out.
When you asked, I was like, sure.
We bumped it out. Like what? It was a 28 by 40, and we made it a 32 by 45.
It was your idea, for the record. It was your idea, and I said yes.
Go big or go home.
That's right. Do it once. Never again.
Never again.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so here before we wrap up, some lessons learned. Maybe things we would have not done or slightly done differently after having accomplished it and able to reflect back. What would you have done differently? I love it all, but I'm positive Patty, so.
I think for one, I'd probably put all the soil on the driveway.
Okay.
And avoid putting it on the grass.
Not dealing with the scooping and
that way
grass.
The loader could just glide on the top of the...
Okay. So driveway delivery
we would have had
soil.
to like shut down part of our driveway.
Yeah, but that would have been worth it.
In our case, that would have been totally fine. And probably going to be the same issue with the gravel. We're not done with that pile, but...
Don't need to think about it.
We're going to wreck that grass.
Don't need to think about it.
So if you have hard surface...
Go with that.
Just put the dirt pile
Don't put a stupid tarp down on your grass.
We just wanted to maintain the flow of our nice driveway because our kids are riding their bikes around the loop here.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, it should have just...
Noted.
And I think if the alternative, if we had to use grass, would be to have the soil deliver at the last second.
Yeah, we got it ahead of time. And it sat there and it was fine, but...
But the Bermuda grass was putting its little...
devil roots
Its little
up.
devil finger, like roots coming out. Where did it go?
Do we have a show and tell? No, I threw it away because it was offending me by its presence to me. We'll just go anywhere. The whole darn property is full of this nonsense. Oh yeah, show that rhizome raider. Jerk.
These things would like grow up 6 inches into the compost, and they're looking for
light. So don't do that. So hard surface. What else?
We'll see how my post hole-less posts, like I didn't dig them into the soil, will work. I'm a little nervous because I know that they will bend and warp, so there'll be some gate adjustments and reinforcement, and I may even have to replace the posts, but at this point that doesn't actually even seem like that difficult a project in comparison to...
It's all relative now.
Because they're all bracketed in, and I can just unscrew and pull them off the frame and just reattach a new one, or maybe dig a hole in the ground. So that will be a bit of an experiment to do a fence without digging actual posts and post holes.
Okay. What else?
What are some other
I loved it
learned?
all, every single minute of it.
Yeah, but I'm thinking for longevity. I'm not thinking about what it looks like and feels like right now. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, I know...
I thought the gravel went great. Yeah, I thought that was really easy. I thought the landscape fabric laying down...
Well, so the question would be if we were like serious... I didn't know that much about Bermuda grass before this, and then everybody was freaking out in comments and letting us know their
I knew about it.
Nightmares.
I knew about it. You don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, you did.
You don't know what a rhizome is.
It's like sounds like an electronics brand or something. It's like the Sony Rhizome camera.
Yeah.
But would we have done anything different
I mean, if
like
we
the
had
construction, I mean, other than like digging out the earth.
If we had a
6
longer
inches.
timeline, like if it wasn't, we moved here in March and then I demand an epic raised garden 3 weeks later, like a normal person wouldn't do. The best thing you could do is lay down the silage tarp, which is that black tarp. We have a video about it. We can link also. Lay it down over the summer sometime and basically just let it live there for at least 3 months of hot weather and truly suffocate and kill out with heat all of the grass underneath, because it's just simply not realistic. Some people do this, but not at this scale, to dig out the Bermuda grass. That's insane. You'd be removing 6-inch deep of this whole area. Well, where are you going to put that? What are you going to backfill it with to then like walk on? And you can't sink the raised beds down into this like giant 6-inch hole you just made. So the best thing is to kill it off and then go and do what we did, and you're probably going to have very, very, very little breakthrough of the rhizomes making it up. So if you're operating on a longer scale, whoa, that bird is big. I really recommend the silage tarp method to kill off the grass, because removing Bermuda just isn't really tenable. But I ain't got time for that, so here we are.
And we didn't want to gravel the entire surface because we do want to use the soil. Like I guess we could have like tarped landscape fabric the whole area and then gravelled it all and then built everything on top of the gravel.
Yeah. But like we talked about, I want the roots to be able to go down.
We have to make the boxes. I mean, maybe it would still be good, but
you can make the boxes taller and just put it under, so you're not dealing with growth through.
But then we're going to the other cost.
Yeah, then you're cost limited
with more expensive lumber and more.
Yeah, so if a smaller scale offers you a little bit more precision, destruction of it. But we're going to hand pull, and I'm optimistic about it. Things are work, and if some of it creeps through, then we'll just deal with it. But I think 80% easily will be gone.
And sifting every bucket we put of soil to try to find the little white leaders out, and as we would dump in each load, and
if you pick them early before they like really get their teeth in, they're going to pull out of that fluffy soil pretty fast. So I think it'll just be a weekly chore. Stay on top of it.
I think we'll get them cleared out.
We will win the battle.
We will win it. I mean, gravel, landscape fabric, 12 inches of soil.
Yeah.
Cardboard, double cardboard. If they get through, it's just they're going to be our friends in the garden forever.
No. Then we'll just bring out the bigger guns, which I'm trying to avoid, but if we have to use it, we have to use it.
Like what, a thermonuclear bomb?
No, like a localized herbicide and the gravel and stuff, where it's just like a localized kill instead of like a big spray. You could contain it.
Precision. What?
Save him.
Oh my gosh, that is...
Save him. Oh, put him in.
What is that, like 12 inches long?
Yeah, put him in here.
Put your hand down there by him.
Can you save him, please? Put him in one of the raised beds. It'll be his new home. But the most important thing is planting can happen now.
Planting is ready to go.
Yeah. So come back for part 3 when I plant out. Pretty much I have 85% of it, 90% of it unfilled. So come back and see what my plan is to fill this garden, and I have enough seeds and plants to fill it. And I'm ready to go. Bye. We need the train to not be going right now. I'm not sure.
We can just start whenever and I will cut. One more? I feel like sometimes Larry is driving the train and he likes to lay on that horn. And then sometimes it's like Bill and he just goes beep beep. Beep beep.
And Larry's just like,
wake up, Vertigo Valley.
My track. All right, I feel like he's set. All right. Yeah, cat.
It really is like 50 trains.
That was perfect. So if you're working with a longer timeline than like InstaGarden, which is kind of where we're at now, the the best thing you could do to Larry.